Good day with love and gratitude from I Am Mastermind. I'm Gillis, and I have here with me Emily Carranza and Abraham Carranza.
How's it going, guys? Hope everyone's having a great day. An awesome week so far. And this week we're talking about the goals, right? Mm-hmm. Goal setting. Why don't you kick it off, Gillis?
Yeah, so
pick a topic.
Just like what we were talking about yesterday about when making a decision with that goal, right? So for me, it was making the decision to become a personal trainer, and for Abraham, it was making that goal to start a business, right?
Yeah.
So, like anything, we always want to make those decisions and know the direction of where we're going. So first, you really need to start taking a look at yourself and think, especially now with COVID, a lot of people have had that time to reflect and really look back to where your time and attention and energy has been, and start now, in this moment, if you haven't already done so, getting crystal clear on where you want to go. Because remember, we can't go anywhere unless we know where we're going, right? We have to set that GPS in life. Otherwise, we become a plaything of the things around us.
And you want to know where you're at.
Exactly.
Because where you're at is a place, right?
Which has been created and developed based off of our previous habitual habits and automatic.
Mm-hmm. Yep. What people really need to understand, we are habitual by nature, and whether you do understand the laws or not, they're still working for you, and they're still happening to you if you're not actually creating your life. So this is where a lot of times people feel that they don't have control, right? And they feel that life is happening to them, and it's happening for them. They just have never really taken control of the way they think, and they've never really decided where they're going. So there's two ways to operate. Majority, 97% of humanity, and this has been for years and years in the making. It's the same mentality. On a general rule of thumb, people don't think.
Right.
And a general rule of thumb, people are not really thinking all day long and creating their day.
Right, because mental activity, even though we may think we're thinking, just mental activity is not thinking.
It does not constitute thinking.
Mm-hmm.
What is real thinking?
Well, thinking is being consciously aware of what you're going to do throughout your day and ways that you can help yourself and really realize whether or not if you are consciously thinking or not is by whenever you do have that goal set, by writing and planning out your day.
Yep.
And whenever you...
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Thinking, in order to think, that means you are planning and organizing a direction, and then you're taking the action. That's actual thinking.
Right.
Thinking means you've predetermined, I will be here today and I will do all these actions that are going to deliver my goal, that is in the goal for the day, the goal for the week, the goal for the month. If you are continually setting goals and directions every day and you're taking actual action steps towards the goal, you will offset the future. You are now starting to take control of what?
Your life.
Your life.
And therefore your results.
Right. So again, thinking means you're going to create a plan. You're going to first set the destination, and then you're going to start setting the plans, and then you're going to start taking the actions daily towards the direction of the goal. And in order to do that, it means you're going to have to sit down. You're going to have to give yourself a command. You're going to have to be more disciplined. You're going to even measure yourself. Right now, everyone can go back and measure what you did yesterday and really be responsible. Take responsibility and measure every hour, what was I doing? And you can do that right now. Just start measuring what you're doing all day long. Mm-hmm. And that's going to tell you, on a general rule of thumb, I've done this several times, and I get people do it, and they can't write anything down.
Right. Well, and you can
Why?
also... Well, because you're not programmed to do it, and you're not actually consciously aware of your habitual habits throughout the day.
Yeah, so you're not even thinking. You're not even working on the cause all day long, chances are.
Yep. Most of the time we're just going through the motions or getting stuck in the daily trivias or the busy work, so to say, instead of consciously creating. Because if we're consciously creating, we remember. It's like when you think back, like last week, what did I have for lunch? Or you're like, I don't know, I just had lunch, because you weren't actually thinking about, this is what I want, therefore I'm going to eat it. Because the times you do make those decisions, those are the times you actually remember what you ate.
Yep. So one of the big things in forward creation, in movement, or creating and taking control of your life, it's going to be thinking. It's going to be planning. And a lot of times it's going to be the hardest thing you've ever done, because the chances are you've never done it.
Right, we haven't been programmed to do it.
We were not as a society, we were not programmed to make decisions.
Or another way is to say it is we don't have the habits that are in alignment with doing that.
Right. So decision making is such a big part of who we are. A lot of times the actual habit that we really have is indecision.
Exactly.
And because we've been brought up in a society, even school doesn't teach you to make decisions and sound decisions. Because if we did, we would be defining our purpose while we're in school, we would be defining who we are, what we want to experience, and then taking the decisions by doing this, and this, and if I move this, and forward, these are the cause and effects. And then measuring yourself, measuring a blueprint to actually identify first, who am I? Step one is, who am I? Right? Then identifying, what do I want to experience? Who do I want to become? Because in order to receive what you want to experience, you have to be someone different.
Right. You can't be the same person. You can't walk and talk and meet and greet the world and have the same habitual habits as this character to get the results as the other character.
And that's where the self-image plays such a big part. Now, you've already been programmed. Without knowing it, each and every individual that has come into this world was pre-programmed. We are spiritual beings experiencing a physical reality, not the other way around. And that means as spirit, we came into a body and we came into a group of habitual behaviors, which was our environment. We have genetic coding and we have environmental coding. Environmental is more predominant than genetic coding. The environmental coding is what's setting up your thinking process. And without knowing it, if you're spirit, you came into a body, you were given a list of ideas, you were given a list of beliefs, religion, the race. You may say, I am Hispanic, I am Italian, I am German, I am Irish. Those are all ideas because that's where you came in and somebody told you that's what you were.
That's a concept of who you believe yourself to be.
And that, by cause and effect, that creates, because if you don't question who you are, you're going to just tell me who you think you are, and that's what somebody told you were.
Right, you stay in that pattern plan.
And without knowing it, if you don't start to originate your own thought and start to change those beliefs in the past, you become subject to the reality of that frame of thought. And that turns into what a lot of people call their identity, which turns into their character, which turns into the behaviors, which turns into what?
Well, ultimately,
Action, reaction. Yeah. So again, pattern plan being induced by a way of thinking, and somebody else is thinking that we didn't really congregate, put together, think about, plan about on our own.
Right.
So we already had a self-image. We had it when we were brought into this world by the environment. Mm-hmm. And if we want to go further than the environment that we were born into, the family that we were born into, we've got to be ready, willing, and able to what?
To learn, unlearn, and relearn.
Yep, we came in, we learned. Here's the trick. Unlearn and relearn. That means you're going to rewrite that self-image. What happens when somebody starts working on their self-image?
Well, for one of the big changes that does start to happen whenever you do work on that is going to be really what you think you can do, and most importantly, what you think you cannot do. Whenever you start working on your self-image, you'll start to realize that all the things that you thought that you couldn't do or didn't even let yourself to think about or dream about, you start to kind of have this understanding that I am worthy, I can, and take action and be able to do the things that you didn't necessarily think you could do before. And it would really, what that was just a lack of understanding and knowledge.
Well done. Mm-hmm. Yes, well done. So that's going back to, again, you're going to start to rewrite the what? That self-image. Right. By saying, who am I? By understanding who I am, and knowing that I'm not this character in this model that I was given, and I can do more and achieve more and become more. Then you start to decide, well, you know what? Who do I want to become?
Exactly.
And that's when the desire starts to take birth, right?
Because how exciting is that? You get to have an empty book that is your book, that you get to write and fill the pages of whatever you want to experience and whatever you want to create, and create whatever character who you want to be. It's like if you go to a new school, and back in, when you go to high school or whatever, anything like that, if you went to a new school, you'd be like, oh, who do I want to be? How do I want to present myself? How do I want to walk, talk, and meet and greet the world? right? You get to do that every
And
single
at that
moment.
time, you feel liberated and free to rewrite the character.
You do.
Well, I want you to understand that you can rewrite the character right now, and by
Exactly.
starting to work on you and rewrite this character, it unleashes this perfect potential, this perfect ability, this perfection. This actually, it's been dormant inside of us for so long. How long? Depending on how old you are, before you started to make decisions on your own, before you started to think you were limitless, right? You could be in your 20s, you could be in your 30s, you could be in your 40s, you could be in your 60s. It doesn't matter. It's in you, and it's dormant, and it's waiting to what?
To be unlocked and to be,
To grow.
Yeah.
We were born to create. Live the life you truly desire. The only way to do that is by what?
By dreaming of what it is that you want and where you're
Imagination.
wanting to go.
Right. Allowing yourself to dream and to see the possibilities, and then to believe in yourself to do it, and then start acting on it. Don't just stay in the imagination. Don't just visualize it all day long. It's great you need to be there, because it's like Vincent van Gogh. I dreamed my painting, then I painted my dream.
There you go.
Yes, and one of the things, even if you don't necessarily, you may have the goal, you may have something in mind, or even of who you're wanting to be and who you're wanting to become. Well, if you don't necessarily believe it yet, and you don't have the faith or the knowledge as to how to do it yet, don't worry. The more you write it down, the more confidence and the more action you take towards it, the more you will realize and find that the people, the places, and the circumstances will align up with you. And the more you kind of just step out there and just slightly, even every single day, you may inch just a little bit every single day towards the thing that you're wanting, towards the goals that you're wanting. Guess what? That's one more day that you get that much closer. Yes. And the more confidence and the more understanding you will have that, hey, I was able to do this today. What can I do tomorrow?
1% better. If you can at least do 1%, one thing more, one action step more. Every day you're moving towards it, and it's moving towards you. And again, that's going to go back to the goals, goal setting. Write it down. Create a goal card. Put it in your wallet. Put it in your purse. Keep writing it and reading it and writing it daily, at least 3 times in the morning, lunch, and for sure before you go to bed. Write it over again and write it over again. And again, on the goal card, we need to have what we want and then what we're willing to trade. Remember, there always has to be a trade. So write down the amount you want, because we all have to trade. So write down the amount you want, and then write down what you're willing to do for that. And keep reading it over and over and over again. And it's that repetition that's going to start changing things. And keep touching the card, keep feeling the card, keep looking at the card, get emotionally involved with the card. See yourself already in possession of the good that you desire and you want. And you're going to see that you're going to start closing that gap.
Exactly. Alrighty, we hope this serves you. And as always, remember, master your mind, master reality. Have a fantastic day, everyone.
Have a great day, guys.